Okay, hi everybody. I this is the second time I am doing this tonight, so there's actually pretty much nobody on here with me now because I'm having to re-record this. I really apologize for those of you who tried to be on with me earlier. I had some sort of microphone issue. I don't know why, but for some reason at like the 43-minute mark, um, my microphone came in, and you know what? I had my friend let me know that there was no sound in the beginning of the last one, but I could see my green dots moving, so I assumed it was recording, but I was wrong. And so you can catch the last 20 minutes of that one, but you can't hear the first 43 minutes. So I'm just going to quickly check and make sure that this is recording. I'm going to use my phone through my other Google account to make sure that I can hear myself. So just put up with me here for a second. No point in doing this for a second time if it's not playing. Mark, my microphone came in, and you know what? I had my friend let me know that. Okay, good. So you guys can hear me. That's awesome. Let's do this again. Maybe second time is a charm here, and I was meant to do this again. So I really don't mind. It was disappointing to know that people were trying to get on and couldn't. I sent you all the link to be able to get on again, but I know it's like a totally inconvenient time right now. It's getting later at night, and so I will just fire this off and then let you guys know that the recording is up and available. So this is my second Google account. I use this one for Hangouts because my original account, which is Angel Belichowski here, and that's this one here, I got a strike against my YouTube account, and so I can't record any Hangouts with that account for 6 months, which is ridiculous. So I had to start a second Google account so that I could do Hangouts. So that's why this one is basically just me. I don't really create any circles out of it. I pretty much just share everything through this account that I do here. So that's me. Tonight we're going to be talking about overcoming objections, and the reason that I'm doing this is basically from talking to a lot of moms and dads, and not moms and dads in business, in the home business. The biggest thing we struggle with is the rejection that we get, and the objections that we hear, what to say to them, how to respond to people. And it can really hurt your feelings. And when you first start off in this business, you're not prepared for that. And I personally, when I bring on new reps, let them know, like, you're going to be getting objections, and you're going to feel rejected, but that's the name of the game, and kind of, let them know that I'm going to be with them through it and will help them with everything that I've learned. But chances are you've been brought into this business by someone who has let you know how awesome it is, because they think so too. And you're not really prepared for the fact that some of the closest people that you know to you are going to hurt you and really make you feel bad about yourself. Now, you start this business and you're super excited, and you can think of 10 people off the top of your head who this is going to benefit, friends that you're going to do this with, and people who need your product. And you go out there in the real world, and you kind of, when you get met with all these objections, and it's not you, it's not you they're rejecting, it's either the idea, it's something in themselves that they're rejecting, but it's not you. But you take it personally, and because you've been so excited, it can really hurt your feelings, and it can be the one thing that makes a lot of people quit this business. And that's really not what you need to do. There's so many ways to deal with objections. There's ways to talk to people in a way where you don't come across as being defeated, or allowing them to walk all over you, or allowing them to hurt you, or allowing them to feel like they're smarter than you or better than you, or what you're doing is wrong. There's so many things you can say and do, and ways you can come across, that you don't need to have that defeated feeling. And it takes time and it takes practice, but over time and through certain resources, you will become a person who can hear an objection and not react to it. And I remember one time in training, Ray Higdon had said that when he hears a no, you could put a heart monitor up to him and you wouldn't know if he was hearing a no or eating a ham sandwich. And the first time I heard that, I thought, wow, like that's not me. And then over time, as I've practiced the techniques that he's taught and what I've learned along the way. That's absolutely how I feel. You know, you still get your hopes up with some people that you meet or that you talk to on the phone and you think, wow, they're like perfect and they're just such a good fit and they're exactly someone that I want to work with. And still when you get met with that no, it's disappointing maybe a bit, but it doesn't hurt anymore. It's not that personal rejection. And once you can get over that, you can really build a big business. So that's why I wanted to discuss this tonight. I'll give you a bit of who I am. I'm Angel Belichowski, for those of you who don't know me. I do a video blog at coffeewithangel.com, and I do a lot of investing and learning and then teaching it and sharing it with you guys. I am a work-from-home mom, and so my passion is basically to help moms and dads be able to stay home with their kids. And I do that either with people on my team or people that I help with through their own business to kind of tweak some things if they're struggling and help them to be able to have a successful business. So I've learned a lot of things along the way. My story basically is that I was on mat leave and was just about to come off mat leave and didn't really know what I was going to do to be able to make some money. I knew that I didn't want to put my kids in daycare. This was my second child, and I had that reassurance inside me. I just knew something was going to happen, and it did. And I was introduced to network marketing. And I fell in love with it, and I was the perfect prospect because my friend had just joined and she sent an email about her product, and because it was health and wellness back then, and I was really into I'm really into that, and so not only did I want to try her product, but I emailed her back saying, hey, is there any chance I could do this business in Winnipeg? And I didn't even realize what it was at that time, and so it was pretty funny. I felt like I was upsetting her, but the fact is it was benefiting her. So I struggled, though. It was not immediate success at all. I kind of was that person who dove into it, gave it my all, and gave it my all in all the wrong areas. Me and my friend were both new to it, so we didn't quite know what we were doing, and unfortunately had an upline that had not provided us with the proper training, and they were so busy with their team and building that we didn't end up getting the right training and doing things right. So I dumped a lot of money into Facebook ads. I dumped a lot of money into the company. I did silly things like trying to build my leg with my husband and ending up spending double money to try to get free product. Like, it was just ridiculous, the things that I did. So I struggled and struggled and struggled, and I think the only thing that kept me going is knowing that I was never going to give up because this is what I wanted. Prior to this, when my daughter was home, when I was on mat leave with my daughter, I had done things like transcribing, mystery shopping, things like, surveys online, all the things that don't pay and take a lot of time. And so when I came across this, I saw it working for other people, and I knew that if it was working for other people, I knew it could work for me. I just knew that I had to figure out how to get there. And I took the long road to figuring it out, that's for sure. But I'll kind of share with you my journey along the way as we go through these objections. So now I'm at the point where my passion is to basically help people to not make these same mistakes that I did, because there's right ways and wrong ways of doing things. Besides these objections, I help people with social media recruiting or building their business online or getting online leads. So there's a bunch of different ways that I'm able to help people now to do the things that I wish I would have known back in the beginning. So I since then, after those 9 months of not doing anything except spending money, tons and tons and tons of money, I invested in some coaching. I had actually done Jessica Higdon's social media course, and then I invested in some coaching with Ray Higdon, and everything changed. And so these overcoming objections tips that I'm going to be giving you, a lot of it comes from what I've learned from him. Most of it does. And so now I'm just sharing that with you from the courses that I've taken with him. But it's changed me as a person, as a business owner, as what I'm capable of doing and where I'm at. So I'll share that all with you as we go through. I'll just quickly show you a picture of my babies. That's Jace and Asha. Jace is 2 and Asha is 7. So this is the reason why I do home business, and I couldn't be happier that I'm able to spend my days with them. Asha just recently went back in school, so we're missing her during the day. And I mean, I'm not gonna. It's not like it's all sunshine and roses trying to run a business from home with kids. It's hard work, and if if any, well, I don't want to put anybody down who's working outside the home, but it might be harder work because I mean, you're never not at work, and you can always be doing things, and you've got a little one pulling at you that needs something, and you feel like you're neglecting them sometimes. It's never an easy road, but it's a road, it's a journey to a future for your family that is just amazing. And so if you stick through it, you'll really get there. And I think those of you that had registered for this webinar and who will be watching the recording, you're there. Like you're on that road, and the fact that you're wanting to better yourself with training shows that you know that you can do this and that you will do it. And it's just a matter of believing in yourself and getting the right tools and just being able to believe in yourself and build that confidence where you're postured and you know that what you have is a blessing. So let's get into this. We will hopefully, the last one that I did was about an hour and 10 minutes, so I'll try to cut it down. Maybe that's what I'll do this time, the second time around. Not make it as long for you guys. Maybe I babbled a bit in the first one. So we'll start off here. Do you like how this is a pyramid and we're talking about objections? I saw this. I use Prezi.com for my presentations, and I was like, oh, that is perfect for this. So let's get it started. These are what I call ignorant objections. There's going to be 10 that we're going to be talking about, and these are the ones ignorant, and that is their own ignorance in not knowing what you're talking about, or just quickly jumping onto a stigma or an idea of what network marketing or direct sales or affiliate marketing is, and just kind of throwing out the first thing that comes to their mind, not having a clue what they're talking about. So of course the first one is this a pyramid scheme or is this a scam? I've heard this one. I'm sure you have too. Is this a pyramid scheme? In the beginning, before I had any training, I just would say no, and this is why, and totally defend it, and that's illegal, and no, it's not a scam because the CEO does this, and this company's made this much, and it's been around, I would have so many reasons why it wasn't a pyramid scheme and a scam, and through training, I've realized that there's way better ways to answer that, where it keeps you from defending it and kind of sounding weak to being totally like in the moment and kind of calling them out for saying this. One way I've always heard is that you can say to them, well, what is a pyramid scheme? Do you even know what you're talking about? Most of the time people won't be able to answer that. But basically the idea is that you don't get defensive and you don't allow it to irritate you. Just know that where it's coming from is a lack of knowledge on their behalf. So you can make a joke. You can be like, are you serious? And just just wait for an answer, like, are you serious? And just wait and see what they have to say. Another one is, wow, I can't believe you said that. That is so weird. And you're basically telling them they're weird for having said that and making it sound like you never heard that before. And why would they assume that something that you're doing and bringing to them is a scam? Because it's true. Why would you try to scam them, right? If these are people you know or even people you don't know. So it allows you to kind of come across as, why would you even say that to me? Or you can just laugh. This one I've used. Just laughing and literally not saying anything else. I've laughed, and there was one conversation that I had where I was just like, yeah, you know what? I'm just going to let you go because this obviously isn't for you. I've laughed before, and the person started laughing and was like, well, I know those things are from back in the day, and I'm like, yeah, you know what? Like, let's just move on. So you can just totally, without saying anything, make the conversation keep moving on, get past that objection. It's just such an immediate reaction that you can just literally ignore it and not even have to answer it. Those things don't work. Those things don't work. First, if you're getting that objection, and same with the pyramid thing, qualify the person first. Take a step back and kind of think to yourself, do I want to work with this person? If those are the kind of juvenile responses that you get without it being based on any fact whatsoever, if someone knew anything about network marketing, they'd know that those things do work. So the fact that they're saying that, you can kind of question whether or not you want to. If you think that it's just an honest, just reaction to what you're saying, then you can move on with them and try to let them see things the way they actually are. And if not, you can just kind of move on and be like, you know what, I don't think this is for you. If you kind of go into it with that attitude and that's what you think about this, that's not really the people that I work with. So let's just end this conversation now. That way we're not wasting each other's time. If you do want to work with them, you can use examples in your company of people that are having success if you aren't already. And so you can say, I don't know about that, but what I do know is that so-and-so started off doing this and working full time, and now 6 months later they're making enough money to be able to quit their job and retire their spouse. And you can use examples. So go to your events and get your stories. Go to your upline and get some stories. Just let them know that you need some social proof that your company works and that there's people having great success if you don't know exactly who that is and what they're doing. You can get technical. Some people, if they're being analytical, you can go into the fact that direct selling is a $114 billion industry. Another way I've heard is that no other vehicle can give you the time and money freedom by leveraging such a small investment, which is so true. You're basically taking a few $100s in most instances. Some of them are a bit more, but and you're able to literally do whatever you want with that one-time investment. So that's one way to kind of, say that to somebody like, I don't know why you're thinking that way, or I don't know what you've been through that would make you think that, but what I do know is, and you go into that, just kind of taking those two objections more and thinking of them as things like, well, where is that even coming from? Where have you heard this stuff? And that's kind of the way that that you take those two approaches with this. And I had another page of notes that I can't find. Okay, there. Sorry, doing this the second time. I'm not nearly as organized. And then from there, we go into the other objections, which they are trying to qualify you. So these are the objections where they don't see you as wealthy, they don't see you as confident, they're expecting you to have poor, weak answers to their questions or to their objections. And the first thing is to remember that is what it is. They are trying to have power over you. If they're making you feel like they're calling you down or wanting you to prove something, then know right then and there that they are trying to qualify you and kind of trying to make you dance. And you don't want to dance. So you're not, they're not your puppet master. You're not bowing down to whatever they say. So these are the couple of objections that you're going to get where they're trying to qualify you. How much do you make? I mean, my goodness, can you imagine if you walked into an interview and you looked at the person interviewing and was like, well, I don't really know if I want to take this job. First, tell me how much you make. Or walking around an office saying, how much do you make? First of all, it's a rude thing to say personally. I would never ask. I have never, ever asked anybody how much they make. But for some reason in this industry, that's what comes out of people's mouth. Well, how much are you making? So it depends on where you're at. If you've just started, it's easy to say I just started and I'm training with top earners and I'm following exactly what they're doing. They're training me step by step on what they've done, and I know I'm going to get to where they're going because I'm all in with this. So that's your answer if you've just started. Or a home write-offs. Figure out how much you're pocketing per month based on your annual tax savings, and you're able to write off your utilities, your space for your office in your home. You're able to write off a portion of your mortgage because of that. Your computer costs, your gas costs when you're going to meet prospects or customers. So there's all of that. So if you can figure out a ballpark figure of how much you're saving per month just on your tax write-offs, I know for people in the States it's like $400 or $500 that they're saving. You can say that, well, pretty much I'm pocketing that much already just from my tax write-offs plus whatever I get to make through the company commissions. If you're uncomfortable with this question, and you've been in it for a while, like say when I was in it 9 months and people would ask me how much I made, that was a really uncomfortable question because you know that if you answer I'm not making anything, they're gone. So what you can say is, well, how much would you need to be making in order for this to be worth it for you? How much would you need to be making in the next 3 months, 6 months, 12 months in order for you to see this as an opportunity for you to jump in right now? And so they can give you a number. If they're intelligent enough, they'll give you an actual number and say, well, this is how much I need to make. Otherwise, if it's just a silly objection where they're trying to make you dance, they're not really going to have an answer to that because they're not going to have a clue how much they would need to make. So if it's someone serious and they give you an amount, then you can work on that with them and say, okay, well, I can get you to that point. It's going to take approximately, you kind of reverse engineer it and say it's going to take approximately this many hours a week that you're going to have to put in to get to that point. Are you willing to do that with me in order to get you there, and go from there? Or if you're like a rock star already and you are making money and it's impressive, then just knock their socks off. Just say, like, if you're comfortable with it, of course, but just say, this is how much I'm making, and see what they have to say to that. So you're basically trying to find out, are they open to this or not? Is this objection them totally just being rude and playing with you, or are they open to it and seriously need to know how much they can make before they can move on? Why did you choose this company? Now, you'll get this question from some people who are new, where they'll want to know, like, more if they want to know that the company is sound, because if people are skeptical of network marketing, they'll ask this question. Or a lot of people that you'll get this question from is people who already are in or were in network marketing at some point in their life. And so for someone like me, after being in that company for 9 months and getting some training, I did move on to something else that fit better with me. So this question for me is easy to answer because I have a reason why I joined this company, a really good one. If it's your first company, keep it about your vision and not your products. Tell them your story. Say to them, like, for me it was, well, you know what, I needed a way to be able to stay home with my kids. I looked into this company, I did my research, I talked to the people who are doing it, I saw who was having success, I took a look at what they were doing. It's definitely something I can do, and I'm all in. Keep it about the opportunity. Relate to them on an emotional level of your vision, of the freedom, of what can you do, what do you see yourself doing, and keep it big. If you keep your vision small and if you keep your dreams small, when you're talking to people, they're not going to be able to grasp onto exactly what it is that you see. And if you can't show people what you see, they're not going to feel it. So you want to be kind of admitting that when you're talking to people. Where is my other note here? Your team. I mean, that for me is another huge reason why I'm with my company, is my team. It's people that I respect and looked up to already, and I'm just, so happy that I get to work with them, and they're supportive and the training's amazing. So if you have an awesome team, edify them and talk about them in your story and say, like, these people are just amazing, and I'm, I wake up and I'm blown away that I get to work with these people and that I'm on their team and that they're supporting me, and you can say things like that. So for me, a lot of times I'll say, I struggled for 9 months and I saw the easy duplication in this company, and that I could really shine, and that it worked with everything I wanted to do, and it fit in with our lives perfectly, and it was everything that I was looking for to be able to actually have success in this industry. People join you, not your business. So you don't need to get all technical. Before, when I was new with my other company and people would ask me why I chose that company, I literally would get into about the company's facts and their profits and how much they had made. I do not know how much the company that I'm in right now is making because I don't need to know. If you go all crazy with facts when people ask you these questions, you're actually going to be turning them off, because when they go to answer these questions from somebody else, if they do join you, they're going to think they need to know all these answers, and they don't. They need to know their answer, why it is for them. You don't need to know anything else. You need to make it simple for them so that they know that they can do this. So they join you, not your business. Remember that. You can't say anything wrong to the right person. You can't say anything right to the wrong person. So just keep it simple like this, and those people that are going to see and hear from you what they need to be able to join the company, they're going to get it from your story. So don't get all technical and about the company. The next one. This is moving into time and money objections. So these are the objections where it's going to be them personally. And these are when it gets tricky, because you want to be able to change people's minds, but when they make it personal about themselves, they're sharing something about themselves to you. But most of the time, it's an objection that's very hard to keep that posture with, because you immediately want to agree with someone when they're telling you something about themselves. So to these objections that I'm going to share with you, when I first started, a lot of times I would hear these objections and just say, yeah, I know, yeah, that's too bad, I hear you, yeah, okay, well, thanks for your time, bye. You know, so it's not, that's not the case. You still, these objections right here, and we'll get into this more into the last one, but these are their pains. So this is what you're looking for with people. When they're going to tell you a reason why they can't do this, then that is your pain. That is what you're looking for. They have a struggle. They have something in their life that's preventing them from being able to live an extravagant life of freedom and you know, time. So you really want to be listening to these objections. When you hear these objections, don't just toss them to the side and agree with them right away. If you're agreeing with them, they want you to agree with them. If you don't agree with them and kind of give them a reason to keep thinking about it, they're going to go away, and chances are they'll come back and they're going to tell you you're right. But if you tell them they're right from the beginning, then you're just agreeing and you're not going to hear from them again. So the first objection that you'll hear, your product is too expensive. So that was me with my other company. I heard that a lot. And unfortunately, I mean, some products, a lot of products in direct sales, they are great, amazing products. They're high quality, they're wonderful, I love using them, and those of us in the industry do love using them, but a lot of people from the outside world see them as expensive, and either using them as a customer or to start a business, they can be negative about it, and people immediately want to, the people who don't want to see you succeed are going to try to think of reasons why, how they can put you down. And so that's one of them. And somebody who goes into something already thinking negative, like my product when I first started, had blown me away so much that it was like, you've got to try this. Like, it's just so awesome. Was it cheap? No. Did it work? Yes. But people who went into it with that negative thought about how expensive it was came back to me saying that they weren't interested in it anymore, and didn't give it a chance, right? So you're going to run into this. Responses to this, so that you don't immediately have to say, oh, okay, I understand, yeah, it's a little pricey, or, you know, that you're not like, but it's so good, like it's so worth the money, or whatever. There are some responses you can say. You can say, I actually pocket money by ordering it. So yes, you're putting that money out, but you're making money, you're building a business, you're getting those tax write-offs, right? So you can use that as a response. Or you can share with them how it doesn't take long to get your product free. If you're with a company where you eventually get your product free, show them how easy it is to get to that point, and let them know that you're going to help them to get their first 3 or 4 customers, so that they won't have to pay for their product, and they can enjoy this amazing product that makes them feel awesome or look awesome or smell awesome, you know, for free. You can go into, I do this a lot of times more when it's talking about the actual initial investment into the company. Like for our company, it's $365 to invest in. And so people will see that as a large amount in the beginning, right? But it's only a one-time thing. And I say to them, you know what? Yeah, you know, it's money that you're spending now, but if you don't see it as a benefit in the long run, like you've got to weigh your benefit versus the expense. If you see this as being something that's going to be this huge vehicle for you to be able to live life the way you want to on your own terms, then this expense really isn't that high. And you know, you can kind of make it relatable to people, like, what are you really objecting to here? Or one other way I used to hear this, especially when it came to your product's auto delivery, if people are complaining about that, you can let them know that it's a very low overhead to be able to run a business. You're not having to pay for a building, employees, products, stock, you know, traveling, any of that. So the amount that you pay on an auto delivery is very low compared to what other people do to run businesses. And you're given a lot more freedom with what you can do with your business. So you don't need to defend the product. That's where a lot of people go, and, you know, list off the ingredients. Well, the reason that it's this price is because they, you know, mine these things from the Mayan gold mines. I don't know, but, you know, like you can make them just totally go off about your product and how awesome it is. That's not what they want to hear. You can just easily kind of turn the conversation and keep it going by these responses. If they're negative about your product, they're going to be negative about your product. If they don't see what you see, they're not going to, just by you defending it. So there's no point in wasting your time. Your opportunity is a blessing, and that's what you're sharing. And so if people see it, they see it. If they don't, they don't. Some will, some won't. So what? The other thing, if I can get real with you guys here, when it comes to your product being too expensive or the auto delivery, for myself, and I'm just sharing this because this is what I went through. I went through spending money on my auto delivery every month on products that I wasn't fully consuming every month, so I was building up a stock. And then you get to that point where you have all this product in your house and you can't sell it because you're not allowed to sell it retail. And you end up giving it away or trying, what did I do? I rented out a room to have a event, and I think I spent about $500 on the event and was going to give away all this free product, which was going to be a couple of $100 more, and nobody showed up. So that's what happens. And so if you're kind of in that situation, and I talk to a lot of people who have quit network marketing because it was too expensive. If you're there, and you're spending money and you're like me where maybe you've started to build your husband's leg and you're spending double the money and you're still not making money, that's where I was when I started about, maybe 3, 4, 5 months into it. That's what I was doing. I was spending crazy amounts of money, and then I would panic and I would throw money into advertising on Facebook, and I hadn't been trained yet on how to do Facebook advertising. So I threw away hundreds of more dollars, or possibly even thousands. And so if that's where you are, regardless of how much you love your product, I was going to say but you love your product. I loved my product. I'm still going to use the product that I started off with for the rest of my life. Regardless of how much you love it, if it's bringing you down, if it's sucking your money, if it's sucking your time, if it's not working, you need to take a second look at what you're doing, because subconsciously, if this is what's going on in your life and this is what's going on in your business, you are projecting that unbelief in duplication into your prospecting. And so that's why you're not building a team, because you think it's too expensive. You don't want to put this burden on people because you're suffering and you're pouring money into this funnel, and it's just going and going and going, and you're wondering how many cycles it's going to take before you make all these hundreds of dollars back, and when is it going to happen, and how are you going to do that when nobody wants to join you? And you may think that you're keeping that all to yourself and that nobody realizes that this is what's going on, but you're projecting it, and people see it, and people see you suffering, and people aren't going to want to join you in your business if you're suffering. And you get desperate, and you spend nights crying. I don't know, I've talked to a lot of people who have gone through the same thing, and so that's why I want to share this part. It's not your fault. You're trying your best, and you're doing it the only way you know how, but you can still use this product. You don't have to be on an auto delivery. You can use it to your own usage and how you're going to use it, and you can move on to a different company that might fit you better, that you have better belief in. And I can say that because it happened for me, and there are many other companies out there, and every vehicle isn't right for everybody, and you can believe in your company all you want, but if it is not working and you're at that point where it's stressing your family out, and you are dreading your auto delivery day because it's another $120, $150, $200 out your pocket, you may want to stop and just take a look at things. But what I want to stress the most is don't give up on network marketing, and don't give up on your dream because of that situation. Use that as your fuel to make it work somewhere else, and keep going. You've got this fire inside you. It's been placed inside you. This dream is in you. Keep going with it. Figure out a different way to do it. If you want to ask me any questions about what I went through, or if you want to talk, if you need someone to relate to, feel free to email me anytime. My email is abalachowski@live.com, and that is a crazy long name, but my name is at the beginning. You'll see it again. And feel free to reach out to me. I'd love to chat with you, and just let you know that you're not alone in this. Everybody goes, well, not everybody goes through it, but a lot of people do. So that's that part. I don't have the money. So we talked about this a bit. 98% of the time, they're just trying to get rid of you, because 98% of the time, somebody does have some way to either get the money or has the money sitting somewhere. You know, as there's a lot of people struggling out there, so there probably is a lot of people who don't have the money right now. So what you basically want to assess first when you hear that objection, don't give them the answer that they want, which is, oh, okay, I understand. Ask them flat out, are you in or are you out? And they're going to kind of be taken aback by that, and they're going to be like, what do you mean? And you're going to be like, well, are you using this as an excuse to kind of get rid of me and to like not have to talk about this, or are you serious? Do you seriously not have the money to do this, but you are open to doing it? And find out their answer, and if it's the first, you know, if they don't want to talk about this, then let them go and don't waste your time. If they do want to do this and seriously don't have the money, just kind of reiterate again, okay, so you don't have $365 in your account or available on a credit card right now. And if the answer is no, just say, well, how far off are we? And find out, is it the full $365? Is it $50? Is it $25? You know, and kind of help them to then be able to see how they could make this work. So you can say to them, okay, if you had to get that kind of money, what would you do? And that may sound like a really silly question, but it causes them to be able to think, what would I do to get that money? They can borrow 25 bucks from, you know, 6 different people, or they can sell some stuff. And you know what? I've been there. I've sold stuff for courses. I've sold stuff to be able to join. You know, because I was at that point where I'd spent so much money already on my first company, I wasn't about to go and blow a bunch of money we didn't have on other things. So I've sold stuff, and my own personal stuff, and it didn't, you know, it's not like it was horrible of me or anything, but it's stuff, if you can depart with a few things and get a few bucks to better your future, it's worth it. And I know a lot of people who have sold like video game consoles, and you know, they see that as something they were wasting their time on, that was sucking their time, that was, you know, not giving them anything of benefit in life. And they sell something like that, put the time that they used to spend on that into their business, and make this awesome future for themselves. So help them see the possibility that yes, they can do this. I don't have the time, and that's probably my objection I hear the most. I don't have the time to do this. So what you can say is, I understand. Life is busy, and we all have tons of things that we're doing, and especially at this time of year, or however you want to relate it that way. What are you doing right now that is going to create more time for you in the future? A lot of people don't have an answer to that, and a lot of people aren't doing anything. Most people are working 9 to 5 or 9 to 9, and basically just getting by. And their plan is lying in some RSP or 401k for when they're 65 years old, if they make it that long. So having people realize that they can start right now working towards time freedom that's immediate. You know, if they have kids, they're spending time in their office trying to better their kids' future, but they're missing out on their whole kid's life. So you're touching into that emotion. This is a pain. Not having any time is a pain. So you can use the feel, felt, found. I don't know if you've ever heard of this before. You know, I understand how you feel. I felt the same way. When I was first approached with this business, I thought, you know, how am I going to fit this in? I don't have the time for this. But what I found is that there were ways I could make time. I stopped watching as much TV. I started spending some time after the kids were asleep at the computer. I started talking to more people when I was out, and I found that I was able to make the time. And you know, if you have anywhere from 5 hours a week to 25 hours a week, you can make this business work. It's just depending on the effort that you want to put in during that time. So if you can find the time to make the time, you'll get all the time, which is hard to relate to somebody, but you really have to see the vision in order to understand that. And it is hard work in the beginning. I don't let anybody come into this thinking, oh, it's easy, you know, you're going to breeze right in. Oh, great, you know, 50 people you're going to share with, for sure they're all going to sign up, like as if, right? You let people know it's hard work, but it's worth it. And if you're there to lock arms with them, you're going to go with them the whole way. So remember that you are looking for a pain, that this is a pain. You want to then be able to take that and say to them, look, you have this thing that's going on in your life. You don't have the time. You don't have the money. Why don't you let me help you? You know, give it a try. Let's see where we can go with this. And a lot of people will go away from the conversation, on this conversation, and come back and say, you know what, I gave some thought to what you're saying. I went to my job this Monday. It sucks. I don't want to do this anymore. Can you show me what you're doing? And so it's a great way to keep that conversation going rather than just agreeing with them. Some people avoid the topic. They don't want to talk about it, so they'll just throw something out there. So these are like those kind of small excuses that they're just giving you. I have to talk to my spouse. I've used that before to get off the phone, to get out of dealerships. Like you use that kind of, oh, I'm this little mousy woman. I need to talk to my husband about this. But and then there's other things, of course, that you do want to talk to your spouse about. So if they say that, just say, good for you. That's important. I want you to too. I wouldn't even let you sign up right now if you didn't. And so that'll kind of take them back. You don't really say anything else. You don't pressure them. And chances are they'll come back. If they're meant to be with you, they're going to come back. If they really needed to talk to their spouse, they're going to let you know that they did and that it's okay. Or if it was just an excuse, then that was their excuse and they're gone. So you really don't want to pressure on that one. You don't want to say to somebody, well, no, don't talk to your spouse, because that makes you sound really slimy. So don't do that. So I'm losing my voice now. Now this is my second time. It's just going. I'm not a salesperson is the next one. Your response to that, neither am I. And I guess for me, this is like totally relatable because I never was, and I never wanted to be. So neither am I. You don't have to be. It's easier if you aren't, because then you're more coachable. I can train you. I give you training. We go through it all together. There's websites. There's exercises you can do. Like, it's all there for you all the time, 24/7 access. You never feel like you're on your own. You just need the tools. So you relate to them on that one. Never try to convince them that they can be a salesperson. Never convince them that that it's not sales, because it is sales, and they will develop those skills, and that's what your training is for. I've tried this before. So I had lots of people in my warm market who said this to me. And so if you've been in another company, use that as your example. So for me, it's like, yeah, so have I, and that sucked and it didn't work, but it's working now, so you can use that as your reason. If you haven't been in another company, you can use the feel, felt, found. I understand how you feel, well, I guess felt would be that you have been in it before, but you could say what I found is this company, like, there's tons of people having success, and I see it as something that I can do too. What they're doing isn't so hard. It's stuff I can do. It's stuff as long as you put your effort in, you're gonna, get the rewards. You can use examples of other people failing. There are tons and tons of stories. If you do your research on the industry leaders out there, there are tons of people who have gone through many different companies before they found the one that worked for them. So you switching companies is not weak. If anything, it just shows perseverance, because it's like, okay, well, that one didn't work. As long as you're not quitting for the same reason all the time, like if you're just finding something wrong with every company, or you're just not putting in the effort, you might want to take a look at that. But if you're just trying to find the right one that's a fit for you, then there's nothing wrong with trying it again. And so you can use those stories to relate. Or you can just say, you know what, my vision is bigger than one company. I've tried it before too, but I know that I was meant to do this. I know that I'm meant to help people. Have you ever felt like you're meant to help people? And that's what I feel like I'm doing with this company. So that's why I'm doing this. So you can say those things. So those are the top 10. This was a lot shorter than the first one, so you're actually benefiting. But those, and that's basically what was covered for me in the top 10 objections that I've heard in the training that I've gone through in the last year. So this here is if you want to dive deeper. If you see success for yourself far beyond just an average earner, if it's not just a hobby, if this is something where you're literally wanting to bring home your spouse, you have family you want to bring home, parents you want to retire, houses you want to build for people, places you want to go to volunteer or serve. If your vision is huge and you see yourself living the life of a top earner, I highly recommend Ray Higdon's new course. It's his Top Earner Success School, the second installment, and it will give you everything that you need to be able to get there. And I know this because I went through his first one. It was amazing. I started off that course with no skills. Besides Jessica's social media course I had just finished, so I hadn't really applied it too much. But I was weak, rejected, alone, feeling like a failure, never knowing how I was going to ever match up with these top earners. What were they doing that I wasn't? What's the secret? How am I going to ever, like, you know, and just that's who I was. And so when I was first approached with, I was watching one of Ray's webinars, and he was introducing the first Top Earner Success School, and I was like, oh my gosh, how am I going to spend more money, right? Like, how can I do that right now? But in my gut, I just knew that this was like there was something about this that I needed to do it. And even just saying that gives me goosebumps, because looking back, yeah, it puts me in tears sometimes, because I think, imagine if I hadn't done this. The people that have gone through this course, so many of them, like I'll show you. So if you go to www.coffeewithangel.com/tests, so this is coffeewithangel.com. I've got test 2.0 up here, or you can just go to /test. And that's short, of course, for Top Earner Success School. You'll go to Ray's page here. The people that have gone through this course, so many of them are either already are or emerging as industry leaders, people of influence, people that people are going to, turning to, following, looking to for answers. It's unbelievable the amount of talent that has come out of the group that we were in. It's people that I'm going to be friends with forever, and it's a group, I can't imagine not knowing these people. My testimonial, Ray features me in his video, part of my testimonial, and then it's also down here if you want to hear it. It's pretty powerful that he does this for us, that he gives us these features. He features our testimonials. He is so about you and your success that you honestly, like, I think he'd almost do it for free. Like, it feels like that, right? Like, he just really is someone who, if you give him your business, if you give him your time, if you put in the effort, and if you are coachable, he is going to get you there. And so that's, if that's where you are, and you can see yourself getting to the next level, and honestly, regardless of whether or not you have the money, if you think this is what you need to do, find the money. It's not that expensive. This time he's come out with actually a 2-payment plan, which he didn't have last time, and it's only a few $100s. It's really super cheap, but this price is only on, what did it say there, for another 1 day and 23 hours. So it's amazing. I'll just quickly go through with you what he covers. Creating a vision, which honestly is worth the price of the course alone. When you come away with a vision after his vision training, you're just going to be blown away with what you see for your life, and then you start to focus on that, and you start to see things actually manifest from that vision. A lot of people saw it almost immediately within this group. Like, it was crazy, the stories that we would start hearing. I had a couple of things happen that were part of my vision where it was like, oh my gosh, like writing it down on paper, this huge vision that you thought you could never see for yourself actually works. Cracking a cold market. His cold market recruiting tips are amazing. I don't know that I would have approached a cold market prior to this. I can't see myself. I used to sit with like a phone. Oh, it was horrible. And I'm just, now it's like nothing. I get people on the phone and I can talk, and it's like second nature. So that kind of training is just unreal. Closing secrets, like those objections, that the answers to the objections that I gave you are nothing compared to the closing secrets that he shares. Attraction marketing. He is the attraction marketing master. I mean, his blog is huge. Him and Jessica have people flocking to them all the time. He shows you exactly what to do, how to get set up with attraction marketing, and what it means for you, and what you need to be doing if you want to be set up that way. Blogging basics for massive success. I started video blogging during this course, and he reviewed my blog. I interviewed him at one point, and he just is awesome. Like, he helps you out. He'll give it to you flat. So you got to be coachable, and you got to be able to, take it. But he'll say to you, like, change this, change that, why is that there, or I would do this, or, you know, like in a nice way. And he's never, you know, picky or anything, but it's really awesome. He's there for you to help you with that. Branding secrets for building wealth. So he teaches you how to build a brand, what building a brand means. If you don't know what building a brand even is, you're going to have tons of knowledge after session 6. Speaking for massive exposure, so that's talking to crowds, speaking on stage, talking on webinars, the way you carry yourself. He helps you with all of that. Leading and managing your team for success. His team building tips and training is amazing. And I mean, they've got a huge team, so they're going to help you with that. And then he wraps it up with complete top earner mastery. This is everything you need right here in a pretty little bow. And you get 6 live Q&A webinars with Ray during the course. So if you get on those live Q&A webinars, I promise you, if you have a question, he's going to answer it, because he spends the time to make sure that every question is answered. So you're basically getting one-on-one, so, like, you know, within a group setting, but time with Ray, and that is priceless. I promise you, because I was there, I did it, and it has changed my life. So he supports those who are in it. It's just amazing what he does for people. So if you're on the fence, just jump and do it. You're not going to regret it. If you buy through my blog, and that's of course only through my blog, and let me know, send me an email or message me on Facebook. I'll show you my Facebook after, and let me know that you've done that. What I'm basically going to be offering is 1 month unlimited email coaching for you while you go through this. Actually, it might even be 2 months, because I think it's going to be October to December. So I'll help you through it. I was there. I've done it all. And if you have any questions and you don't want to, like, there's a Facebook group that you can use all the time. Our group was awesome. And I don't know if I shared that in this webinar or in the other one, but we actually, like, we're planning a 5-year reunion. Like, the people are just amazing, and you make some awesome friendships that are going to last forever. So you have that group, but if you don't want to post in a group, or if you need an answer right away, you'll be able to send me an email, and I will help you out with anything, any question you have. Secret to Success webinar is what I will also give to you. It's one of my products, well, my only product, but I did this webinar after Top Earner Success School, and I did it based on creating a vision, this session here. So maybe once you watch that, if you then follow it up with my Secret to Success webinar and see how I related to things that he said, and maybe just kind of be able to combine that with what he teaches in this new, because there's a lot of new stuff in here, stuff that I didn't get to learn that you guys are going to get to learn. He says in the last 6 months that so much has changed, and they've learned so much that it's all packed in here for you guys. And I will send you a GoPro by Eric Worre. I will just need your mailing address, and I will send that off to you. So if you want to do this, I recommend it. Like, do the investing in yourself, because that's what makes the difference. If you're a difference maker, that's what's going to make the difference. If you enjoy free training, then keep up with the free training. And you know, if you're not interested in going that extra mile, then definitely, you know, there's tons of free training and blogs and everything that you can tap into and have great tips all the time. But this is if you want to be in that group that come January 2015 is ready to rock, is that new group of emerging superstars, and you know, gets that recognition, then I highly suggest you get in here, because if that's where you see yourself going, this is the way you get there. Otherwise, you're taking the long road, and you may get there eventually, but it will be a lot harder than if you have the backing and the support of those who are already there. So that is my webinar. I wanted to tie this in with this, because it's almost up, because you have to buy it before, what is that, Thursday at like 10 Eastern, so that's when you have until to decide. So hopefully you watch this recording before then. If not, I think the price goes up, but I think it's still available because the course starts in October. And yeah, because it was something so life-changing for me, I would be doing you a disservice if I did not share this and let you know that it's available. So thank you so much for joining me. I hope if you're watching the replay, that you're not ticked off at me for not having any sound on the first one, and that this has helped you out. If you wouldn't mind, when you get a chance after you've watched this, if you could go over to my Facebook page. This is my, oh, I've got it all zoomed in, that's right. This is my Facebook page here, or like my profile, which is Angie.Belichowski. And then my Facebook page is Angel Belichowski, so it's facebook.com/Angel Belichowski. If you wouldn't mind hopping over here and leaving me a little comment, let me know what you got out of this. Let me know if you got any aha moments, or if there's anything you related to, anything that will help you, or share your stories with me as you go out there and use these new tips and techniques, and just let it build you. Just remember to believe in yourself. And the one thing I've come to know as I've gone through my training is that no one's better than you, and you're not better than anybody else. And that's totally true, no matter anybody's status, where they are in their life, where they live, what they do. We're all equal. You're sharing an awesome opportunity here at every moment. And, you know, take your no's and keep moving on. One book I would highly recommend reading if you want to get comfortable with hearing the word no is Go for No by Andrea Waltz and Richard Fenton, I think that was their names. But it's called Go for No, and it's awesome. It really helps you to get over that fear of no and instead actually go for it, because you know that within those no's lie your yeses. And if you're allowing this immediate rejection and these objections that you weren't able to answer, if you're allowing that to hold you back, you're never going to get to where you want to go. So you have to be out there in the game, talking to people, sharing your opportunity, getting those exposures, and it's only going to take practice to get better. So if you're not out there practicing, it's not going to happen. And if you want any help at all, I'm always available. I do 15-minute free coaching. Even if you don't buy the test course, if you want 15 minutes with me, just shoot me an email. So my email is abelichowski@live.com, or you can use coffeewithangel@outlook.com. Sorry, I should have put those both on here. Or like I say, contact me through Facebook. Or you can contact me through this Google account too. I do get emails about it when I get my notifications. So you can contact me there. I hope you guys liked this. I hope you got value from it, and I really love you and appreciate you for being on here with me and your support, and allowing me to share this with you and listening to me blab. Some of you now for the second time tonight. Well, no, I guess you didn't hear me blabbing the first time. But anyways, have a great night. Have a great rest of your week. If you have any questions about the Top Earners Success School, you know, if you need to know a little bit more information before signing up, you can, like I say, go to that link in my blog, or just send me an email. Ask me any questions you have. Okay? Take care, guys. I appreciate you very much, and I will talk to you soon. Have a great night. Bye-bye.